Let's play darts. Oh. Oh. Holy Mongolia. Ladies and gentlemen, a 22 there. Yeah, not ideal, but that is darts, isn't it? Especially when you're not very good. But we're here. Today's going to be fun. Today's going to be interesting. Something slightly different. We're going to do some scoring training. I'm going to see how I'm getting on in scoring. I'm pretty solid on the doubles. Scoring seems to let me down big time. So I'm going to try and work on that. But there's a twist here today. A week ago, I got sent in from Ryan. Big shout out to Ryan. These fantastic darts here. The German giant here. Clemens Gen 2s, right? These are 23 grams. Now, I've been using probably for about almost, I'd probably say 6, 7, 8 months. I was using ASP Gen 2s. Higher weight, 26 grams. Here they are. And I said a week ago, I'm going to give these a go because these seem to suit me quite well, these Clemens darts. And it's been a week and I'm probably going to keep going on for another week to see how I get on. But today we're going to compare, because how do you know which darts are right for you when there's so many similarities in terms of your results? So I find so far, having been a week in, I'm pretty similar in terms of what scores I'm getting in matches. Not in great form at the moment anyway. However, I was trending downwards before I got these with the ASPs. So I thought, well, why don't we do some scoring today? So I want to do some scoring with these bad boys, the Clemens, and also the ASPs. And we're going to compare. Now, I'm not going to be using these as a definitive guide. In fact, what I'm looking for is, guys, in the comments, more experienced players. I've been at this a year. I'd love to know, how do you know which darts to use? And I know that seems crazy because you'd think it would feel obvious. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure which ones are better. So I'm interested if anybody's got any other ideas I should be testing, etc. How do you choose what darts to use? That's basically it. Now, look, ideally, I'll go to a shop, test as many as you like, see what works for you, etc. But in the absence of that, a lot of us are buying darts online all the time. Lots of us like to collect them. And I like to try and get better at darts. So I want to know which ones I should be using because I've got a choice. Before the hero Ryan sent these in, I didn't have a choice. I was just happy to use these. And now I'm in a position where I've got that option. So let's try and work it out. Let's have a tiny warm up here. And then we're going to go. So we're going to do scores. I'm going to have 10 lots, 10 shots, 10 sets of 3. Hello, cheeky. I'm going to have 10 lots at the 20s. We're going to have 10 lots at the 19s. And then we'll do the ASPs and see where we're at. Now, I'm not going to decide which darts based on one session here, but it's been a week since I've used them. So it'll be a real nice time. Now I've had a real embedding of these for now a week. I'm interested to see how the ASPs feel. It may become obvious today. How exciting. Shall we get going? Let's not mess around. Stop messing around, everyone. Okay, so we're going to do score training. 10 lots at 20s with the Clemens 23 grams. Now, training wise, lovely stuff. All I'm focusing on is getting that wrist over. You know that. I've gone on about it long enough. That's a 100. That's lovely to see. Beautiful start. Tremendous. Phenomenal, in fact. Unusual, rare. Okay, this is a thesaurus meeting. Okay, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 100 again, but an even better 100. They're stacked. Look at them, they're stacked, stacking high, stacking chips, stacking tungsten. It's a 100, a beautiful 100. As good a 100 I can provide you. And look at that, a Samson pullout. What a start. We need a morale boosting session. This could be it. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? That's another 100. That's another 100. That's 3 100s back to back. My goodness me. This is insane, really. At this stage, you need to start questioning whether there needs to be some sort of blood test done. A genetic test to see whether or not I am related to Peter Wright. Okay, let's go. Hey, reality resumes. We're back in the room, guys. 26. People were worried out there. People were worried something had happened. It was an imposter. No, that was just... look, this is what happens, guys. We get small bursts of very good form, and the idea is to try and get more bursts. We want to burst. Poor. Oh, it's a shame. I think it's next door. Yes, it is. 24. A 24 and a 26 back to back. Okay. So maybe we can just relive those 100. Maybe let's just stop the video at this point. Send it to Mervyn King's Nan or something. Almost a 180 again. I was confident. There was a lot of room in the bed. I was feeling fresh. This is exciting. Thrown okay today. That's a 140. That is unfortunate. Also, that third dart is always the one where you get a bit nervous. I'll be honest, I didn't feel that nervous. I tried to throw it the same way, felt fine about it. That's progress in itself. That's a 140, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, we're currently averaging 80. I mean, I'm never going to pick up another set of darts at this rate. I'll be honest, I was quite blocked in by that. I should have dropped down, which is kind of illegal in this game, in my mind, to drop down from 20s when you're aiming for 20s. But 45 is acceptable, especially after how half of my darts have been going in today. Look at the wrist. The wrist is going through. This is what's happening today. I had a little warm up before here. All I'm focusing on is that wrist. Coming into this feeling pretty good. Getting results because of my wrist. I know it. I feel it. As much as I've dropped down, and I have dropped down, if you look on DartCounter, you know when you play online, shows you an average. I believe that is the average of your last 30 matches. And I was getting up to 51, 52 in March, early April. I now looked this morning, I'm at 48. So I know my performances and results I'm out of form. While I've been going through these changes, I'm hoping this will steadily increase now. The more I can turn up and get this wrist through. Oh my goodness. It's another 140. It's another 140. You're seeing the very best of my scoring abilities, and you're seeing the very best scoring game I've had, possibly ever, and certainly on camera. So well done. You've seen a little glimpse of what I can describe as something that's probably outside the matrix, something that's not in reality. It's a huge score here. My goodness, that is the closest one we've had since the only 180 I've ever shown you on camera. That is a 140, but that third dart, and I'm telling you what, there was no room for it, but of course I was going to throw it. It is edged just above the wire. That is another 140. What is happening today? I feel like I need to sit down. Right, I've just averaged 87 in scoring. Beautiful. Absolutely staggering stuff. there. What is going on out there? That's an 87. Right, let's get straight back into it. We're going to go 19s. Okay, what have we got there? We've got a 23. Sorry, that is a 33. Let's try and put that in again. Better. Ooh, unfortunate there. 47. Not bad darts though. I mean, today, even if I'm abysmal for the rest, I will just be living off that first session we just had for a long time, all weekend. Oh. Okay, 54. Interesting, very interesting. Now the problem is, because I hit that red hot form there, it's going to be hard to compare how the darts are going in, isn't it really? Because I'm not going to be able to beat that. Okay, what have we got there? We've got a 57, we've got a 76 and a 9. That's an 85. Finding that treble today, getting that wrist through. Results are lovely to see, but the hard work and the improvement is in the technique, and that is this wrist. Better. See that? I need to hold it at the end there. Too quick to drop it down. 57. You know, sometimes I play as if I'm in a rush, where I'm just like throwing this hand down straight away. Before the darts even hit the board, I'm picking up the next dart. Don't want to be doing that. 45. Oh, Samson. That was hand shape. Felt my hand go not where I wanted it to. 47. Now, when I play my scoring games, anything above 50, I feel like, okay, I know my range. Anything below that, I'm really struggling. So 50 is like a minimum number I like to look at. Poor darts. I need a little reset. I need a little reset because I'm not getting that wrist through. There's the hand. Better. Oh, unfortunate. 57 plus 21 is 78 plus another 7 is 84, I think. There we go, one lot, and then we're going to move on to those asps, guys. Now, like I said, I'm a bit worried that I feel that first session has completely come out of the blue. And all I'll be thinking about is these darts. Let's see, it's been a while. 57, that's lovely. Right, so we've averaged there. It's not obviously as high as before, but we're 54. So we've got to remember that. So the 80s for the 20s, 54 for the 19s. Right, we're now picking up for the, oh, nearly broke them. For the first time in a week, guys, welcome back to the asps. Got the reds on, okay? The best flight and shaft system with the red you get on the asp. It's got to be a red K-flex there. Beautiful. Ruby red. Right, let's see how we go. We might just throw at 20s and see how we get on. But we'll see how we go. Right, here we go. Heavy dart. See how it flies. Now, it's probably going to take me a little moment to get used to them. 41. So I've got to bear that in mind. Now I picked them up probably about, the points on this, by the way, are shocking. And they're just too coarse. So I'm going to spend half the time getting them out the board. Poor. 43. It's early. Oh my goodness me. I need to get new points because these are just gonna, must be doing all sorts of nonsense to the board. The board is looking a bit worn as well. I'm considering a new board, but I'm also not like a guy who wants to just get things for the sake of it. I mean, it works, right? So why change it? Ooh, veering off a bit here. That's a 40. Okay, we've had a few throws with these now. It's hard for me to say because we've got a struggle with th and f. So sometimes I'll say fish, I'll call it a fish. I certainly used to do that a lot when I was growing up, and I'm trying to get better at that. So when I have to say something like, I've thrown a few darts, that's hard. It's a real challenge. I'm like dyslexic with the voice. That's better darts. That's only a 60, but they're starting to fire a little bit like, oh my god, look at these. Find like the Clemens a little bit, if I can get a little bit of rhythm. Hmm, 26. I think what is going to come out of this video for me is more of a question for you guys. What advice would you give me to work out which set to use? Because based on that session there, of course you're going to think, oh, you're not going to change your darts again, are you? Because look how you're performing with them. But I'm also very aware within a 15-minute period I can play fantastic. And the next 15-minute can be bad, just with the same darts, the same situation, nothing changing. So this could easily have happened with the arrows here, 43. Right, and we really struggle on the scoring here with the arrows, though. There we go, 100. We've got a 3-figure number there. Oh, that last dart, I mean, it's got me a score there, but really not ideal. It's dragging everywhere. And I think, guys, that may be the first indicator of why I may stick with the Clemens. Because I've been dragging darts like that less, and I think it's to do with the grip. So on the asps, if you see the grip here near the point, you see it's inconsistent. Okay, and I think that makes some of my darts inconsistent because I do rely on a lot of grip, whereas this is consistent all the way around. And people say there's less grip on these, or they're not that grippy, but I find them grippy enough for what I'm trying to do. Whereas the inconsistency means that every time I'm picking up a dart, it's impossible to pick it up with the same way every time. That's just a poor throw. .26. There, like that one swung everywhere in the air, and I remember that happening every now and again. When now it doesn't seem to happen. I mean, I'm talking myself into this, aren't I? Right. So we did average very high into the 80s with the Clemens. We're now at 51 there, which is somewhat acceptable. But I'm thinking, the inconsistent grip and the waviness of those darts coming back again are bringing me back a few bad memories. 19s. 45. I'm also, you know, that first session was so good. I wonder if it's had a negative impact on my mindset with these arrows. That's a 45 again. Well, I'm certainly going to not change them back to the asps for now. That is a fact. If you guys got any ideas of how I can really determine what I should be using, I want to hear it. What's that? 45 again. So there's 3 45s in a row. Oh, hello. 95. That's better though, isn't it? This is what I'm saying. I don't think there's a massive difference in terms of my results with the darts. But so far, having not used these for a while, I do find myself struggling a little bit more with the consistency of the grip, I think. 43. I mean, these points don't help, but I swapped those. So they won't make a difference long term. Ooh, 21, 28, 37. Okay, almost there. And I think the jury is somewhat out still. But it certainly made me think that I prefer the other darts. If you had to hold a gun to my skull and you said pick one, I'm picking the others. I'm not throwing terrible. That is awful. That was not the darts though. Oh my goodness. 15. 2 goes left. Poor, poor, poor. 41. Right, last 3. Let's make them count. Minimum of 57 here, please. I'm going to have to move over here. We're going to have to hit that treble. Oh, we did hit one, the wrong one. That is a 27. So that's giving me an average of 48 there. So much poorer with both on the 19s and the 20s with the asps. I haven't played with them for a week, so you could put it down to that. You could also put that first session down to being an outlier. We're going to be sticking with these. 100%, we've got to. We'll stick with the Clemens for another week. Maybe we'll decide then. I'll be interested to hear and read the comments to see if there's anything I'm missing. But certainly, till the next time you see me, we'll be using these bad boys. What a great first session as well. Nearly hit another 180 for you. Maybe there's areas, there's times and moments I'm getting better. I just need to become more consistent with it. I hope you're enjoying your darts. Let me know in the comments. Great to see you as always. Good day.